Psalm 127:3. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. This suggests children are a precious gift from God to be valued and cared for.
In the United States, a child a minute is taken into DHS, CPS, and so on custody. The reality is their picks are already selected, you just don't know it. Being perfect no longer matters. It's what the adopting families are looking for.
Who is it stealing the children, you ask?
From caseworker to the White House, the buck stops at all levels, just not where it is supposed to be. The services your family needs, we the people have paid for to ensure your reunification. Title 4 says, reunify at all costs. United, we stand means nothing to us when it comes to family values. Children are being ripped away from their families. Parents are reverting to addictive behaviors to cover the pain. The trauma caused by child removal is just being recognized, and the results are atrocious. Termination of parental rights is not healthy for anyone, just profitable for the people enforcing the line.
It's time Washington listens to the cries of our children, the wails of their mothers, and the rage growing in the fathers. These are our children. Keep your damn hands off them. We are coming to act on the behalf of the children God gave us to protect, and you kidnapped.
Of being the oddball. Our courts are contaminated with young, inexperienced caseworkers and polluted with bribes, high-priced bonuses for speedy adoption of terminated parents, and judges who don't practice law with the Constitution in their sights. This is a problem. George Washington never thought of children as pawn in the game of freedom and American values, and never had he wanted to sell them. They were from his maker, his creator. Our children are being run down for no other reason than the profits being made in some way. Somehow these government agencies make money hand over fist day in and day out. They have you go to classes that they are billing for, and there is no viable reason for you to attend. Yet when you hear an update, CPS tells you that you're further away from when you started. Reunification is your goal, not theirs. And after you go through 12+ months of grueling, painstaking classes and meetings, all while getting the slimmest amount of time to visit your child, and even worse, you are always supervised, never alone again with your child. It's awful. How do they feel, do you think?
Where's the outrage? Why is nobody standing up for these families being torn apart by CPS?
Please don't tell me you're going to put all your bets on this superhero. You grown-ups are supposed to be coming to his rescue. Stop ignoring this problem. There is nothing more I can say to any of you. Please fight CPS and help those who have lost so much they can help themselves.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS and abolish CPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to CPS Victims Hunting Justice. I'm not even going to say what night it is because I'm not exactly sure right this second. I think it's Monday. So, yes, it's Monday evening. Benny's giving me the shake that it's Monday evening. So, what's going on? It's Monday night. I want to thank everybody for hanging in there with us for the late start tonight. Appreciate that. I don't know if any of you guys caught that last episode where we were talking about the politics and stuff, but I just want to reiterate to everybody that it's so important, the elections this year, to make sure that we vote for someone in your local area and all the elections that we'll be having that is anti-CPS, the people that want to make sure that the system gets fragged and gets taken out. That's what's important about all of this year. You need to still have some belief in the American system that it works. The government is, the election means something, that it's not going to be, don't look at it as it's going to be automatically rigged. You guys need to go out there and use your numbers to stop that rigging, stop that falsities, that it doesn't matter that you vote, because it does matter. And there's a whole hell of a lot of us. So if we all got together, like I always say, pack it up, we could make a huge impact on an election, and they wouldn't even see it coming. People wouldn't even see the gross amount of people that there are that has been affected by Child Protective Services. That could be a monster in the election that they don't even see. I don't know why more politicians don't use that stuff, but they're not. So I don't know. Let's ask Vinny what he thinks. Vinny, what's your thoughts, buddy?
I went all Republic, so like that's the way I voted across the board, Republican. I've been listening to both sides, and I'm seeing more of a sway in people going Republic.
Uh-huh.
And
No,
there's a reason for that, because the
yeah,
Republic.
don't believe what you see in the media where they're saying, "Oh, Trump's losing these numbers and all that." They just want to. They just want to make you. They want to sway you to not go out and vote and think that it's all over. That's what they want to do. They don't.
Dude, I already filed my vote, so they're screwed.
Oh,
anyway.
there you go. There you go. So, so what do we got going on tonight, Vinny?
At least I can speak on behalf of the other half. So on her side, she had visits today. My 4-year-old daughter's sick yet again.
Yeah.
This has been ongoing. Like every time she has a visit, she's been sick. Ever since she's been in their custody.
It's the stress, man. That stress just runs a kid down. That's exactly what it is, The stress gets a hold of stress, it gets a hold of them and they can't get well, And it sucks. It really does suck that they can't get the care that they need. They just need to be home with mom and dad and, curl up in a room, but they don't get that opportunity. So they just, they just stay sick, and it's terrible.
Yeah, no, and it's been like a year and I think 2 months now.
For no reason.
Yeah, for no reason at all. And then to allow certain things to happen in their care. Yeah, I mean, even on her behalf, the guardian ad litem tried to pull a fast one and say she wanted to come to the visits. Well, so she got a hold of her attorney and told her attorney that she would want her present there with her, and the guardian ad litem said, well, that's a first.
Why wouldn't you? They're going to sit there, then somebody needs to make sure that they're monitoring the same thing.
Right.
And that's what I say. Let's see what Miss Panda Girl has to say about it. Howdy, Miss Panda.
About what?
About the guardian ad litem coming to the visits.
I don't think the guardian ad litem should be allowed to come to the visit. Our guardian ad litem went to one of ours too, and then accused us of doing inappropriate things with our kids.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's so they can kiss up to the judge and say, "Oh, we did our job. Can we get our money now?"
Right.
Yeah, they're supposed to be at. Aren't they supposed to monitor so many times? They're supposed to be writing reports.
They're supposed to see them more than
I get sound and sight and sound, but they don't have to monitor the kids and go to. I mean, my lawyer doesn't go with me to my visit.
Right.
You know,
Right.
the guardian ad litem is the kid's lawyer, supposedly. I don't know.
So that's just it too. They're supposed to be neutral figures in all of this stuff. So what is it? What are they trying to prove? What are they trying to prove by going to the visit? What are they saying? Because I think you're right, Vinny. It's just a matter of saying, "Oh, look at me! I went to the visit. I did my job."
Right.
You know,
make themselves look good.
Yeah, and Brenda's absolutely right. They lie. They lie. They lie. They lie. You know what? What makes their opinion so? What makes their opinion so admirable and so like this one person's opinion that doesn't know crap about your life, hasn't been in your life, hasn't seen half the stuff you've gone through, hasn't seen you react with your kids, hasn't seen any of that stuff, but yet their opinion matters to the court, and it's like one of the most weighing opinions that there are. It makes no sense.
Messed up.
Because they spend no time with you. They don't spend a proper amount of time with you to be able to gauge and judge to say that
she's never met me. She met me once in person, and that was when I had court for my hearing a couple of months back, and that was the first time I ever met that woman in person.
Yeah, it's absolutely asinine. And then they put and honestly, most of the custody case weighs on the fact of what the guardian ad litem is going to say.
Yep.
You know, like that's what they wait on. They wait on the opinion of the. But I wonder how now that the Chevron thing went over, I wonder how the GAL reports weigh in the courts, how they weigh towards the courts, because now it's saying that the alphabet groups can't, give the opinions can't weigh in on the court's matter. So can the GAL still now? Will that still matter to the courts, and the judge will use that as the way to rule? I wonder how that will work. I wish Gunnar was on here. I'd love to ask him that question.
Yeah, I wonder on that too. I mean, that is something that we need to ask Gunnar, because if they can't weigh in, then they are a 3-letter organization.
They got letters, so that makes that case so. But I wonder what they.
That North Carolina's doing that though.
Oh yeah, that's disgusting.
And I told my husband, or we were in counseling the other day, and I mentioned it to the counselor. I was like, I said that just gives them a way to go in there and teach all the kids that.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, they won't do that. They've got oh, okay." And then, yeah.
And then there they are, and that's what's happening. And that's just sickening that they use these storms and these things to ramp up what they do. I came across this video today. This is pretty cool. Just check this thing out here. This is just a discussion about talking about, like my thing is abolishing CPS, but check this video out I found. This is pretty cool. Hold on. This is the case for dismantling it. It's a great video. Once I can get past this stuff. Yes. Well,
I sent the rest of them the link. I don't know where they are, so.
All right. Get the ad blocker off here. Come on, ad blocker. Okay, let's refresh. Largely taught on this website. Yeah. And sorry about this. This website. Thank you. Refresh. There we go. Sorry about that. All right. Here we go. Oh, we got to go through this, Adam.
Things
Sorry.
started off great, but once the new wore off,
They changed.
in the beginning, I got gifts
Okay.
like a phone.
And then next thing you know, it's like I'm invisible.
So I switched up and got me a new phone carrier.
Don't put up with wireless yada yada. Now with Metro Flex, new and existing customers are treated the same. Free 5G phones when you join, same deals as new customers when you stay. Only at Metro.
There we go.
The stories of families whose lives have been disrupted by the intrusion of child protective agencies are chronicled in a new book titled Torn Apart: How the Child Welfare System Destroys Black Families and How Abolition Can Build a Safer World. The book argues, the author argues, that the system currently in place actually does more harm than good to the children that it aims to protect. It makes a case for a radical reimagining how America can do a better job of protecting children and supporting families. And Dorothy Roberts, a professor of law and sociology at the University of Pennsylvania, is the author of that book and several others. Dorothy, good morning to you. Good to see you.
Oh, good morning. Thank you so much for inviting me back on your show. It's a privilege and honor to be here.
Well, it's important for us to learn about this. You recently wrote about 5 myths that the public has about America's child protective system, and I want to put those on the screen. But in your book, you write, quote, "This nation's terroristic approach to protecting children blames the most marginalized parents for the impact of race, class, and gender inequalities on their children, obscuring those unequal structures and the need to dismantle them. The mission of CPS agencies is not to care for children or protect their welfare. Rather, they respond inadequately and inhumanely to the effects of our society's abysmal failure to care enough about children's welfare," end quote. I guess I have to ask you, Dorothy, how do you compare your call for the abolition of child protection services to folks who were calling for defunding the police when others said, but hold on, we actually do need police to keep people safe. They may not be doing a good job, but eliminating them, they may not be the right example. What's the comparison here?
Well, I actually think both movements to abolish the police and to abolish family policing are very much connected, partly because these systems are so entangled in the way in which they approach the needs of people and conflicts in society through these punitive means that disrupt communities and families, and also because they work hand in hand. And let me just point out one thing you omitted from Vanessa's story is that at the end, 7 police officers came into her house, dislocated her shoulder, hog-tied her, and carried her out and put her in jail, all stemming from her little boy traipsing away momentarily from her at a family picnic. So we have to understand that these are very entangled systems, and the calls to end them and divert the billions and billions of dollars spent on them to actually caring for families, meeting children's needs, really addressing by preventing family violence would keep children and communities far safer. And it would be better to do that than to continue these destructive systems that in the end are not keeping people safe and they're not meeting people's needs. And so we need to radically transform the very approach, the very logic of how we meet the needs of people in our society and how we address the problems that are actually caused by the deep structural inequities that we have.
So you talked about what would happen when you talk about abolishing child and protective services. You talked about how the pandemic actually may have proved your case, in which you write, the pandemic revealed both the folly of our current child welfare system and the promise of a radically different approach. We could start by diverting the billions of dollars, as you just said, spent on investigating, monitoring, and separating families to tangible resources provided directly to parents and other family caregivers, as well as to voluntary community-based supports for families. Explain to us what you mean. You're saying that during the pandemic, this sort of happened and there was a better outcome.
Yeah. Yes, and let me give credit to Anna Ahrens, an assistant professor at NYU, who pointed out that during the pandemic, there were all these warnings that children were going to be abused in their homes because they were trapped with their parents, and CPS wasn't going out to investigate. And that's true. In New York City, for example, CPS and the family courts almost shut down because of the pandemic during the lockdown period. But what happened wasn't what they predicted. It was the opposite. Children were kept as safe in their homes. There was not any kind of overload of child abuse going on in the homes. And everyone who's looked at this has conceded that those predictions were wrong, including the head of the Administration for Family Services in New York City. So why was that? What kept children safe? And what it was an outpouring of mutual aid networks that distributed groceries, diapers, that provided childcare and other kinds of care needed by families. And it also stemmed from the CARES Act that distributed millions and millions of dollars directly into the hands of parents and other family caregivers without the need to be investigated, without the need for their children to be traumatized by separating them, without the need to put children in foster care. And those reveal two main aspects of how we could replace this system that's so traumatic and so racist that clearly, 53% of Black children investigated by this set of agencies, that can't be because their parents are truly neglecting and abusing them. It's because they have needs that are being unmet. And we need a radically different approach that dismantles this vicious system that, yes, I call a terroristic system because it's taking children away from their families unnecessarily, and replace it with mutual aid, community-based resources, transformative justice that actually deals with the roots of domestic violence and prevents it, and also a radical change in government policy that truly addresses the astronomical rates of childhood poverty in America. We have the highest rate of child poverty in America, especially in the very communities that are torn apart by this system, Black and Native communities. And we also have the highest rate of taking children away from their families, rooted in a history of this, again, targeted primarily at Black and Indigenous communities, even as a weapon of war against them. And this is not helping to keep children safe. We can see that it's a failure. So we should stop clinging on to it as if it's necessary, start dismantling it, and at the same time, build up the kinds of resources and approaches that would truly support families and keep children safe in their homes.
Dorothy, this is a topic that we need many hours to discuss, but fortunately you have written a book about this, which is an important read for people who don't even know that this is an issue, which might be most people. Dorothy, thanks very much for raising awareness of this. Dorothy is a professor of law and sociology at the University of Pennsylvania and the author of Torn Apart: How the Child Welfare System Destroys Black Families and How Abolition Can Build a Safer World.
All right, what'd you think of that, man?
Wow.
That blow your mind.
Well, this isn't, I mean, we talked about it in the last show. It's not about race anymore, though. This thing will get you no matter who you are. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with, it does have to do with your it does have to do with your economic, where you are as far as an economic standing, but not too poor. We don't want to get to people that are extremely poor. We don't want to do that because that's where the damaged goods come from. So, we got to get that middle class, almost middle class Americans that just can't afford a little bit, just barely enough to be able to defend themselves against you in court. And that's where they hit. But yeah, I figured that would be a good one. That's just someone else saying that we need to abolish this system. Hey, Gunnar, we were just talking about the GAL. Is the GAL going to be covered under the Chevron case? Will that be covered under Chevron as far as the alphabet being able to leave their opinion to the judges? You know how they weigh so heavy on the GAL opinion?
Hello, Debbie Anderson. Just saying my hellos there.
Yes, sir.
The GAL is appointed by the court. Now, the court, the one thing that they stepped over was you have a right to appoint any kind of guardian ad litem. It does not have to be an attorney. This is part of the scam or the shakedown. They're getting paid lawyer fees. You can appoint one of your parents to be a guardian ad litem, or somebody else that you want, because you have the right to give representation for your child in your child's best interest. And the argument is based off of, Your Honor, who knows better, my sister, my mom, my uncle, somebody that's in my thing, my pastor, than an attorney that has no fucking clue about my family dynamics? How are they going to know about the best interest of the child, which is the purpose of the guardian ad litem?
I didn't know you could do that.
But they roll right over you and go, well, we're going to assign, but unless you know, Your Honor, I object. I wish for this person to be that, and under my parental rights, I have a right to assign. Until you flex your muscle. See, your silence is how they get their way.
This is true. Yeah, letting them run right over you. Like you say, let them decide. Let them think that they're in charge, and that's it. You just think that you have no say in this stuff.
Your guardian ad litem could be anything by its very definition, in the best interest of the child. Look up guardian ad litem, what it means.
Of course, CPS isn't in
Of course, they're part of the same system. In Tennessee, they are violating that particular part where it says people are not property of the state. Well, when you took over as a guardian of the state, or they took a this and that and assigned a guardian ad litem that is outside of the family, yes, you did. You just took proprietary things over them. That person doesn't know anything about your family dynamic.
Right. They're claiming that we abuse our kids, but yet they mentally abuse them every day that they're out of the home.
Oh, trust me. Once it, like I said, you get a hold of something, and here's one of the things that we're trying to do. The point she made, and I'm going to reach out probably to that author because she is a professor at, I believe it's Penn State. And I've got some friends up there at Penn, some contacts up that way, that she actually points in as she focuses in basically on one particular community. Even though it's a nationwide problem, because CPS doesn't know color of skin. And here's the thing. Yes, it's profitable for them to do that because they're already plugged into the governmental system and they're on the government tit so bad that there is no independence or any other resources. They know it's a quick dollar. They're just shifting things around as far as money is concerned from one program to the other, so long as it's profitable. When they switch over generally to middle income, regardless of what it is, they have personal money or reserves they're going to get into. Well, this is why you hire your family's attorneys that are supposed to be defending your family and this and that. Which one of your attorneys took and turned around and that you people have paid stood up for your constitutional rights? Anybody? Anybody mention that? Anybody out there? Guess what? You now have a case against your attorney for misrepresenting you to the best of their ability, because one of the things they're supposed to do is protect your constitutional rights, because that's part of their oath. And if they didn't bring up constitutional rights issues that are privy in civil court, that they must be followed and hold that court accountable, or that judge or magistrate, it doesn't matter. You still have a contract. That you agreed to follow the Constitution regardless of what it is. You don't deal with the matters, but it greatly affects the fact that it came out and became an issue. A constitutional rights violation, you understand, Your Honor, deprivation of rights under the color of law, or no trial by jury. It don't matter if you're a fucking civil judge or a criminal fucking judge. You violate those constitutional rights, that's your ass. That's suicide. But they got away with it for so long because it perpetuated the system, and it was done by psychological warfare, by CPS, to scare the shit out of you. Even to the point they were so arrogant to print, we have a right to go against your constitutional rights under the flag of children. There's no system, no flag, no shit, anything you can bring up that is above the Constitution. It has the supremacy clause in there for a reason. You can't. And when you realize I didn't have a trial by jury, That's a due process violation. They're going to go, oh, well, we don't do that. Well, according to this particular case law, it says you were supposed to, just because you were used to doing it that way. This case law, and it's retroactive, says you violated my 7th Amendment right to due process. Oh, shit. Let that loose in one courthouse. If that's coming and it's coming in a civil suit, it will clean out. And that's what they're afraid of, is this spreading by, like a disease. Spreading and getting over. Hey, I've won my case, guys. They don't want to hear that point of this and that, of getting to the point of, hey, guys, we won. We won our case. It's illegal. This is what our judge said. And you start spreading that case law. Child support. CPS, both done those particular ways. Did you have a trial by jury? No.
Nope.
They're going to try and pull you into what's called a what? A tribunal. Which is what? It's in their what? Administrative. Not their judicial capacities. Which the judicial requires a trial by jury. To be fair, why? There are civil implications, life-changing, whether it's financial, mental, anything else. It's cost you something.
I just emailed that out, Gunner. Thank you.
What's that?
I just emailed my attorney and told him that I did not pick the GAL.
You didn't pick the GAL. That's supposed to be an option. You look under their guardian ad litem. You look under their rules and regulations of the court, not CPS.
Are you getting what?
The court. You are supposed to be given the option to represent your children, somebody that knows your family or in the best interest of the child.
We didn't give that.
Like your parents,
we were not given that opportunity.
Your Honor, I know what's in the best interest of the child. I'm the grandmother. We're a very tight family, and this is that. It gives another voice on your side. That's the point they don't want. They don't want a voice besides yours alone because it's you against them. They're not taking witnesses.
We weren't given that opportunity.
You don't get witnesses in an administrative trial, do you? Call witnesses about your character or any other shit, do you? That's what the GAL position was created for, was somebody that knew your family very well. Look up the history of it. The GAL, the powers of the GAL, how it's assigned, and this and that. If there's not one, the court will appoint one. That judge rolled over you and you were quiet. That gave him permission to do exactly what he did in your case. And that's what will backfire you. Well, you didn't speak up.
I didn't know I had to. But now I do.
Yeah, but you never knew that was an option, right?
No, I didn't.
You never knew? Right, because they don't tell you that stuff. They don't tell anybody.
Go into your history of what a guardian ad litem is in your state. Do the research yourself. Every state is different. But almost every state that I looked at that came through there, and the only reason that a guardian ad litem was appointed by the court is because there was no one there to represent in the best interest of the child. In other words, there was no family left. Kind of like adoptions. You see, they're basing this all off of people that have lost. How this originated and started was out of people that lost both of their parents and were in a home already. You need to look into the history of CPS. I mean, there's a full history on how it was created, how it was done, where it was a bunch of stuff from war veterans or people that died after different diseases and stuff, and they brought the orphans in. And it was a private organization. It was people. Churches have been doing this for generations, especially the Catholic Church. They've run orphanages like crazy.
Right.
Now the government's got involved. They have CPSs. Now we can profit off of it. The church, it was a burden, and it came off of what you were giving to help support those programs internationally when you gave into a Catholic church. That's how it was designed. But you've got all these different things that are out there. Now you go into the history. Now some American businessman said, well, look, did the right thing. We need to run an organization or house that other businesses will donate or people from the community to help these orphan kids out. And some of the other businesses will help give them jobs or do something and give them a skill set because their parents are gone. That's how this started as a good idea. Then somebody got in with the Social Security Act of 1935 that came in and says, hey, how about some federal money? That's why it's written in under Title IV. You see where this is going? Let's give them some money. They're doing a good thing for our country. Let's give them some money. Let's help the American people. They have community based. Let's make it larger. Let's make it the country's issue to help our orphans, nationally. Okay. Well, a lot of those started getting additional funds, which also helped out the churches that were running the orphanages and this and that, till private corporations came in and go, you're running everything at a loss. This is not a business. No, it's a charity. It's for the good of man. This is not how we make money. All of a sudden now, you come into the foster system, finding homes. There's money to be made out. They gave incentives for that. The government did with our money. Our money. Now there's incentives to do this. Then it was a profit train.
Our taxes pay CPS to come in and take our kids from us. And I've been screaming that for years, though.
Oh, not only that, it's state money. So,
Well, who funds the government? Our tax dollars normally funds the government when we pay taxes.
So this is why you have to watch who has your money up there when you send your representative. Once again, they're for the corporations. So are they going to do what's for the good of the people?
No.
Or the good of the businesses? Mm-hmm. That's just where the big selling point of the Democratic platform is. We're for the poor and indigenous people that don't do this, this, and that. And that's been their platform for years. Social programs, this and that. But it got so far and other ideologies creeped into where it started getting mixed with democratic socialism and leading to socialism and endeavor, to where now most people say, our democracy. You're constantly hearing your elected officials, which, oh my God, you should throw them out. Well, we don't want to take and damage our democracy. It's for the democracy. We don't live in a fucking democracy. We live in a constitutional republic. We've never lived in a democracy, and that whole fucking thing. Well, constitutional republic's a form of democracy. Go look them up, because you're full of shit. They're not the same. Look at Vinny over there eating an ice cream cone. Damn, son,
well,
share.
Debbie,
he got the monkeys.
Look what they did at Ruby Ridge and the government.
I got the monkeys.
It's about somebody wanting control and has a friend they can call for a favor to do something or impose their will upon somebody else. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave these kids alone. Right. Leave the families. The idea was, like she said, it was created to do this till a businessman looked at it and goes, I can make $1 off of that doing a 501c or this or that. It's about, that particular money. Now you have power.
Yep.
Now I've got power over the children. I've got over this and this and that. Who are you going to take? And once again, what are you going to vote for? I'm going to vote for a less government system. You don't realize it's doing the opposite effect. I want less government now because it's came in invade. You think I'm going to vote this particular way after you just took my kids? But it's all under the safety net, right?
Right.
So is what it
There's
is.
a lot out there, though, that they've done to us. Like back in the day, you could have a vehicle on the road with no license and legally drive.
Yeah. Well, what about the whole insurance thing? Now you have to have insurance on your vehicle in order to drive your vehicle. I mean,
no, you do not. You have to have
the state of South Carolina. You do, or you lose your driver's license.
No, you don't.
In South Carolina, you do.
Because if I turn around and I can prove that I have a trust or something that is of an X amount of dollars, enough to cover any kind of damages held in a secured area, then no, I don't have to have insurance, because that's what you're paying an insurance company for, because you don't have those trusts or that amount of money in the bank. But you actually do, that you don't realize, that's in your Social Security.
Since the day you were born.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I know
there's a lot of stuff you don't know that came out with that Social Security and gold and the end of world wars and everything else, and they run off these deficits and all this other stuff, and it's this big scare and all this other stuff. Listen, you want to call balancing the scales? And this is the funny part. You send money over here to this country or that country. Oh, well, we owe this country this and that. It's a fucking spoof. You realize it's a spoof, right? Because it's gone both ways. We haven't just borrowed money off of them. They've borrowed money off of us, and they owe us money. We're not just indebted here and there. They're not canceling the two debts and seeing the difference on a spreadsheet. You know what I'm saying? Between income versus debt. The same person, you're doing business is what it is. Listen, can you float me some credit and give me about so many millions of dollars in tanks and weaponry and this and that? Sure, we'll ship it right over. We've got a surplus. And ship it out to another country of all old shit or anything else, nothing modern. Well, here, you can have our leftovers. We'll sell them to you on credit. Now you owe us money. You have a loan with us, but not the other way around. I mean, you got to understand a lot of stuff with China is a combination from things with deals and contracts. They're still using the Keshkanov AK-47 is still their basic weapon. It hasn't changed. And it's reliable. We've gone through how many different versions of the M16? M16, M16-1, M6A1, M6A, B, M6A12, A13. I mean, Jesus. They're still using the basic same AK-47 design that has not failed. And that's a frozen damn tundra most of the time. So once again, it's a reliable weapon. So they're not buying the guns from us, which you wonder why we have such a problem with China or some of the rest of them. It has to do with deals. They're not paying for our weapons that are being mass produced. So we can create the new biggest one. What do we do with all the old ones? We can't use them no more. We got the new shiny model, new contracts. What do you do with the old stuff? When we abandoned Iraq, Kuwait and everything else over there, look at all the shit we just fucking left. The guns, the tanks, the Humvees, the this and that. When we up and just left all that shit and didn't decommission it because it was just leave it, who do you think picks that shit up? That's black market deals. Somebody's going in there and cleaning all that shit up and selling it to third world countries. Look, I have an American gun from last year. M16. Here you go. Here's this weapon. That's how the black market works in gun running. I mean, it doesn't take a genius, and it's somebody that goes with this and that. Then they have to deal with what? International. Well, when they're separate, give you an example. If I take apart all the rocket launchers and machine guns and strip a helicopter, it's a rescue copter. It's able to legally be shipped. But if you ship it together with all of it put on there, now it's a warship. If you ship them separately, it's not illegal. See, one's controlled, one's not. It's even with your weapons. Do you realize you can buy barrels, slides, all the internal parts and everything else, barrels and barrels, it doesn't matter, AR-15, different platforms, this and that. The only registered part is where the trigger is in the lowers. It's the only part stamped with the serial number.
Really?
Same way with a handgun. Which part was, look for the serial number. It's on the lower where the trigger assembly is. Why is that? You can buy barrels all day long. There's no serial number on it.
Right.
But as soon as you do the bottoms, that's those ghost guns.
One of them.
And they do the same. They do the same kind of shit with children too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that would boggle any American
I just
fucking
want to take a
brain.
pan of brownies that are full of fentanyl and kick my will. Did I say that? No.
So, like I said,
a pan of brownies.
A lot of this stuff. Oh, there's Mama. Mama's there. Hey, Sharon. She's on the live on the thing there. Hey, baby. I'll get you the link, maybe, if we're going to do an after show. She's kind of itching to get out a little bit, maybe just kind of get some things off her, but she's not ready for the public stage too much yet. I'm trying to warm her up for it to get on it. But She'll do good once she gets going. And dear God, you get Mama pissed off. She done had it, man. And listen, she ain't no dummy. She has a degree and a few other. Listen, that girl's smart. She can hold an intelligent conversation. I mean, hell, she can hold an intelligent conversation with somebody like me, and we can spitball and go down our own rabbit holes. That's somebody special.
Right.
Oh, we got Mr. Herbert finally.
There's Herb.
Hi, Herbert.
I
I
guess
sent you a link like 45 minutes ago.
Oh, she's too angry to the public. Baby, just wait and stay in this room. It ain't that long. You're going to hear a lot of damn angry people. There ain't nobody too happy, but we have found a way to
Not at all.
encourage each other enough to kind of just keep going and get it off your chest and kind of vent it a little bit with the horse shit. Maybe learn something a little bit.
Stop unplugging me, cat.
Ugh. Herbert, what you got for us tonight?
We don't hear you, Herbert.
Muted, buddy.
Nope.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Herbert.
No hearing you.
On or off? Where'd Darrow go? He hid. He just put Herbert out here.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
There you go.
Okay, good. What it is I was on the phone with Tiffany, and I told her about the show, and she said she'd like to come on the show. Would you like her to come on, Vinny?
Yeah, she's welcome to come on.
Okay, let me send her the link, and I'll be right back.
Sorry.
Okay, hold on a second now. Let's see here. Leave. Okay, I'll be right back.
Can't hear. You got to make sure you check all the little boxes, your mic, your camera, and your speakers, and your speakers are selected right for the program to make sure if you're using the monitor speakers or if you have external speakers. I've had to deal with that before myself, Brenda.
From the distance. Yeah, but it's not. It just scared the hell out of me. So I went, oh.
Government did the Indians. Let me tell you something. There's some crazy shit going on now, not just here, but in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They tried to buy out the Native Americans in Canada for $48.5 billion to allow their government programs and stuff like that to come on the reservation land. Basically, and the first thing that they feared was them coming after their children and destroying their heritage. They turned it away, whatever that agreement was. So, there's Steph.
Wait, this is Brenda.
Oh, hey, Brenda.
How are you?
Hey, you guys.
So,
I don't know why I put myself on because I don't know if I have anything to say, but.
Any updates on your husband, Brenda?
Just that he's got court on November 5th, and I'm hoping he gets the hell out of there is what we're trying to just put the good vibes in. I called the courthouse and see if I could just observe the Zoom hearing, and they said they didn't have the link yet, but I guess I'll check again to see if they get the link. I don't know if they'll just not let me because I'm me, because the judge feels threatened by both of us, I think, but I'm just like the attorney's got like several motions to dismiss, so they really fucked up is what they did. They really fucked up.
Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to switch my camera around on here.
Okay. I gave Tiffany the link.
Hi,
Hello,
Tiffany.
guys. I gave Tiffany the link.
Hi,
Yeah,
Tiff.
we hear you, Herbert.
Okay.
Yeah, but my camera, how do I switch my camera around, guys, on
We
here?
don't have to see. We don't have to see your camera.
Tiffany is
We can hear your
swirling
voice.
around. The
Tiffany, we
little
can hear your
arrows.
voice.
Oh, hold on.
Get on the other side of the phone.
Oh, I can't.
There you go.
Anyway,
Just go on the other side.
listen. I don't know what I'm doing now because it's some kind of way it done transferred on me. I can't.
Tiffany, it's okay. We can hear your voice, so talk to us. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Notice you guys can hear me. Y'all gotta, that's files over there, so it's kind of messy over there. I got several cases I deal with. I deal with people all over the country.
Has
Anyway,
it been one of them days?
I am Lady Tiffany Villapando. I am a civil rights, human rights, children rights, constitutional rights specialist. I'm also a mother of 13 children. I have been fighting the system since 1999. I'm also a student of the law. I wanted to be an attorney ever since a little girl. I've been studying law since I was a teenager, with over 3 or 4 decades now. And I fought the system and won, filed my own motions and lawsuits myself. From there, birthed my company called iStop and iStop Awareness Now, where I stand up for the rights of children, parents, and families, dealing with CPS or the judicial system. Me and Herb was talking, and we was talking
I
about
want in your
the
corner.
issues. Go ahead.
Said I want in your corner. We need to hook up because I want more information.
Oh yeah, I hook up with everybody around the globe. All right, so listen to me. This is what needs to happen. Me and her was talking about how do we fix the system? How do we change? And we begin to have a revolution. We need to stand. We need to have a united front. Number one. Number two, we need to unify all the groups
Absolutely.
that's on social media all over the world that's fighting for the same cause. You to get together and unite. We need to protest as parents, children, families. We need to walk. We need to protest. We need to knock on doors. We need to knock on Washington, D.C. doors. We need to go to Congress. We need to write the president. We need to write the state officials. We need to enact laws to protect us. I just finished my children's rights class. The person who teaches my class is an attorney. Her name is Isabella Vaduro. Her office is located in Washington, D.C. I have direct access to the president, and we just learned in the rights to protecting children that the United States is the only country in the whole wide world that didn't sign a treaty, didn't sign the law to protect children rights and parental rights. This is how they're able to human traffic our children, take our children from us in the United States and across this world, because they don't care. This corruption is
Right.
high up in government. Listen, I just told him the system is corrupt. CPS and law enforcement, they fall under the 4th and 5th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. They are wicked entities. They are human trafficking, sacrificing children for money from the government. Now, what the government has been doing to people like me to speak out, they try to kill us. They have killed people that have speaked out against their democracy. They're going to continue. If we do not unite, we already lost. The Constitution says, united we stand, divided we fall. We have the power. We have to unify. We have to restore the Constitution. They are taking our rights and stripping our rights from us on every level. If you don't know your rights, you are taken advantage of.
So,
And let's
yeah.
check this right now in the court of law. You give up your constitutional rights if you get an attorney. Why? You're telling the judge that you're not competent. You're telling the judge that you need help. You're telling the judge that you can't speak for yourself. Now I know you don't know this, but that's actually what you're telling the judge. So now you're saying you need a representative. You can represent yourself. Pro se, which means by yourself, for yourself, without an attorney. The attorneys is in cahoots with the judges and the courts and the judge and the government. They're all in cahoots together. So how are we
Tiff,
gonna
I got a
win?
question for you.
Go ahead.
If you had a way to take it all out and end it all, would you do it?
I would take it all out and start it all over again. Why? Because the beginning of law enforcement was corruption. The beginning of
No,
CPS.
hold on.
Go
The
ahead.
reason I say that is because we have found out a way. That's one of the things we're bringing out and educating people We have a way to legally remove them as well as anybody you want that's an elected and appointed official within all 50 states. We
Well,
have
that's
evidence of treason and sedition by every single
they're
50 state.
treasonous. They are. They
Hold
are.
on.
They
But
are.
we
They
have
are.
the evidence, the hard evidence that they have printed it with their state seals and everything. We have that evidence. I have released that evidence myself from my studies along with the case law that shows every state is actively using state-funded state money as well as Title IV
Title
federal
for
money.
emergency assistance from the
Yes.
government. But what's happening is they're forcing the families to sign the safety plan. That's a contract. What they're
Are you
saying
aware of
is
that?
they're
But what
admitting
if I
that they
told
have
you our
abused
way
their
took
kids
out
when they did
judges?
not. Huh?
Are you aware of the recent ruling of SEC versus Jarsky?
Tell me that case. I'm familiar with case law. I study it all the time, but that particular name does not ring a bell to me, Sikarsky. But tell me the case law.
SEC.
Hold on. Let me pull it up.
SEC versus Jarsky.
Garsky,
JAR.
that name sounds familiar. That may be a case law that I already have. But hold on, let me Google
Well,
it. Let me pull up the case law.
if you had
Tell us about the case law.
the
Case
case
law is how
law,
you actually win a case. Case law was cases that already been ruled on in the court of law. When I fought
No,
the
no,
system,
no,
and
Tiffany. He's
oh,
trying
go
to
ahead.
Tiffany.
Oh, he's
Tiffany.
trying to
He's
tell us.
trying to
Okay, sorry. I thought
Tiffany.
you were
He's
talking to
trying to
me. Go
tell
ahead, sir.
us.
I'm sorry.
No, no. Go ahead.
Tiffany,
Go ahead. Tell us.
I get you're excited. A lot of us get with that too. Take a breath for a second. We're going to equal out a little bit. We're going to get our energies about the same. Take a deep breath. It's all good. We're all listening. We're here to share information now. Let me share with you SEC versus Jarsky that ends all of CPS. It simply says that any administrative judge that has the capacity to invoke civil penalties on you requires a trial by jury and is a Seventh Amendment violation if they don't. That's a due process violation. Every CPS case that anybody's ever dealt with has been in an administrative capacity and no trial by jury. That is enough to remove every single judge that is in. It's retroactive. It's enough to remove every judge, magistrate, civil judge, it doesn't matter, across this country in every state, to remove those judges because they cannot adjudicate when they have committed a violation of constitutional rights, but let alone a due process violation. They will never serve again. You take out their judges, which is your core, but then you use the evidence we have from every state to show treason and sedition, because you start taking out the judges, you're going to end up turning the Bar Association on the states and the Child Services Division, because it's because of those cases they've all lost their jobs. You're going to raid their funds. You're going to raid everything. All their money is gone. They can no longer work with children because you get it involved with children because that's an extra, we'll say, endorsement to your case. Not only did you
I'm
adjudicate,
trying to
but you
look
did
up the
it with
case. So
children.
you said SCC versus who again? How do you spell the last name? I'm trying to look up the case.
SEC.
SEC. Okay.
Samuel
S-E-S.
Edward.
Hold on.
Yes.
SEC versus who?
Jarsky. J-A-R.
J-A-R. Okay, I see it right here. I see it right here. Jarsky. Jarkesy.
Yes.
All right, hold
Under
on.
the
I'm looking it up
summary,
right now.
Under the summary, it's going to tell you why it's a violation.
That's why
of
I'm
the
looking
Seventh
up right
Amendment.
now. I'm trying to get it in PDF format so I can dial on it, but I'm looking up the summary of the case.
Bottom of page 1
He's
and then
going to
into
tell you.
page 2.
He's telling you about the
He
summary.
wants to tell
So
me, but I
Tiffany,
want to.
listen to him.
I need to have it for myself, for my clients too. So I'm gonna look up the case. I have plenty of case law, but that's how you win a case.
I don't have a trial by
Okay,
jury.
but Tiffany,
You violated
Tiffany, we only have but so much time on the show. So listen to him talk about the summary, because you can look it up after the show.
What I'm saying
Go
is
ahead,
going to
sir.
go right with it is, and you have to look at it. Let's put it this way: Roe versus Wade had nothing to do with abortion. It was what was decided as far as the courts and everything else through there. It can tell you how a judge does things. It's protocol. Every judge that's a state judge is an administrative judge. It applies to every judge of every state. If you can invoke civil penalties to me, taking my children, taking my money, this goes for child support as well. You got to have a trial by jury.
Well, what's been happening is those amendments have been under attack from the days that because they've been used in administration law, they have attacked the Constitution. So it had already been ruled on in the Ninth Circuit Court. All right, this is also case law. I sent this case law to. This was a case law done. Hold on, let me get my my book here. I sent this case law to Tiffany earlier today. This was case. Hold on, I gotta find my
What I'm
lucky book.
saying is you got to play chess where they want you to play checkers. They're playing checkers in family court.
Okay, here.
Play chess.
Right, you
Now,
absolutely
if you
right,
have
my brother. You gotta play chess. You
okay,
gotta play chess and
now
not checkers with them. You're
follow
absolutely
my
right.
plan. If you've
So
had constitutional rights violations, why are you fighting in a court that's a state court, any state court that does not have jurisdiction to rule on constitutional rights violations? They don't. That's a federal civil case.
that is
Now,
true.
you
Now
have to
listen to
watch
this.
your mouth and
Now
not go
listen.
past Rooker versus Feldman to make sure, because Rooker versus Feldman says
So
that the
it
federal government will not
so it
involve
needs to
itself in
go in a
family court
federal
matters.
court and a state court for a lawsuit. Now, here's the case. In the United States, the Court of Appeal of the Ninth Circuit said it best, that the government interest in the welfare of children embrace not only protecting children from physical abuse, but also protecting children in the interest and
Okay,
privacy and dignity of their own homes and the lawful exercise authority of their parents. Calibrata versus Floyd, 189,
I'm familiar with the case.
1999.
Listen to what I'm saying, though.
Go ahead.
You go after them as soon as your rights are, they enter your home with no warrant. They question your children on private property. That's seizure under the Fourth Amendment. We have the case law for all of that.
I do
Okay.
too. Right.
Okay. Now,
That's your
you
Fourth
stay
and Fifth
away
Amendment.
from Rooker versus Feldman and you file a federal civil case for constitutional rights violations only, regardless of family law. It doesn't affect family law. This is constitutional rights violations. Those are criminal acts.
1983.
What's that?
1983, civil rights under the
Yes.
color of law.
So here's the thing. It gets you past Rooker versus Feldman in the federal civil court, because that's the first thing the state's going to file is saying this is a family court issue, and we're going, no, it's only a
And they're going to say they
constitutional
have
rights issue.
immunity. Don't forget that, my brother. They're going to claim they
It's
have immunity
gone.
when they don't.
It's gone once you violate a constitutional right,
Exactly.
which is why you're doing your immunity's gone. That's what you're dealing with, is what I'm trying to say.
What
Now,
they
once you
violated
bring your
in
federal
Brooklyn.
civil case for constitutional rights violations, that's also a felony. They're going to use the evidence from your civil case to run across the street, report to the FBI and DOJ to prosecute criminally. That's how you do this and get around it. Now it's in federal court. Now they're all criminals. This is a step-by-step process we have. Then you go from there. You've reported to the FBI. Now you can go back to the state if you have a state case and they won't drop it. Generally, they will after you win, because they have a history of doing it. But in the past, if you've won, they have you sign a non-disclosure agreement. So you can't ever use it against them or share your methods with anybody else.
I don't sign nothing with them. I don't sign nothing with them. I fought 6 courts in myself and took down 6 courts myself, and I didn't sign out a piece of paper.
Okay.
You don't sign
One
your
step
John
at a
Hancock
time.
to nothing that you're not in agreement with.
Tiff, I'm giving you a step-by-step to get it through. You're frustrated,
Oh,
and a
no,
lot of
I'm
people
listening
have.
to you. I'm listening to you. I'm listening,
Okay.
and I need that information. Not to say I'm listening, but I'm just telling you
Okay,
that you don't
Tiff.
have to sign anything.
Tiff, here's how this goes, Tiffany. Once you get the criminal aspect going, That's enough to go to a grand jury, to have them indicted, to have them arrested. Now, anything a judge has ever done because they have now done a criminal act is null and void,
So
which means your
what
case
if
never
you go
happened.
to the FBI and the FBI won't do their thorough investigation? What if you go
Once
to the
again,
Attorney General? The Attorney
do
General
you
is to
want me to
represent the
make,
state.
okay,
That's a
I
bias.
can
That's
explain
conflict
that
of
to you.
interest. But go ahead.
Hold on, I can explain that. Because the FBI answers to the DOJ. They don't move unless the DOJ tells them to do anything. They're an investigative body only for the Department of Justice. Unless, which, like I said, with that, you then give that over to the Department of Justice and the FBI and say, I'm pressing criminal charges, and they are reactive, not proactive, unless it's a life-threatening emergency. For example, a bomb threat, or this, or they're called in to be special investigators from local police because it's a huge case and they can't do it. You got to understand their boundaries, okay?
I understand that. I
You
wrote the
then
DOJ.
have,
I'm talking to somebody who write the president, who has direct access to the president, and who's been fighting since 1999. So I'm telling you right now,
Tiffany,
is this corruption?
Tiffany,
what
he's trying to explain things to us.
No,
We're not
I'm not
talking
it's a
about
saying
these
he's
things.
wrong. I'm not
report.
saying he's wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong. What I'm telling him is he's absolutely right. He's on point. But all I'm doing is
Okay,
for the people
now,
that's watching that have been advocating for themselves, that have been contacting the proper
yes.
authorities, and they still have not got anywhere. Go ahead, man. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
This
that's
is how
me.
you,
That's
now hold
me.
on. Now you've been into this and you've reported to the police, you've done it to the assistant, and nobody does nothing. This is where you get them. You have to make the first case about your constitutional rights only. You got to follow this step-by-step process because you have to get over the hurdles that they have legally set for you to overcome, but you can, and this is the way you can do it.
So I
Constitutional rights
asked you, my
violation.
brother,
I
do
went
you
in
have
that
that
court.
written down and step by step? Can you get that to us?
I actually have it available on a Google Drive,
Can
including the
can you get
evidence
that
for
to
every
me
state who has
when,
committed
when
treason.
we end the show? Can I give you my contact information and my email, and you
Yeah,
can
you
email me the
can
step by
listen. You
step?
can email me at expo
Hold on, I
dot.
gotta get a pencil to write that down. Hold on.
Okay,
Let me get a
No,
pencil.
go
He
ahead.
going a
Tell
little
me
bit
what it
fast,
is.
and I talk a
I
little
will
fast
text.
too. And
He's going fast. Hey.
I think me and you both,
Say
brother,
what
can
it
talk a
is.
mile a
I'll
minute
write it
because you
down and
can
I'll
talk
all
a
send it
right.
lot
to her.
too.
Here, I'll put it in. Are you part of the private chat?
Yeah, I'm part of the private chat, so just go
Here
ahead and
we
put it
go.
in
I
there.
want to do it for you right there, darling, and you can have it right
Yeah, give
there
me
for
that,
everybody
baby.
to
We gonna
hear.
light them up because I got people all over the nation that I represent, and we need to get these kids home.
Listen, girl, I'm from
Yeah.
Southside
He
Chicagoland area. I know where you're coming
he's putting
from.
it in the private chat. He's putting it in the
All right,
private
I
It's in
chat.
got
the
it,
private
Gunner.
chat.
I love your name, Gunner. I got it. I got it right here. Thank you. I'm gonna
Hey,
put my
email
info in
me
the
later.
chat
So
too.
listen, you know all those emotions, everything those parents have? One,
Yeah.
you're going to have to keep it in check. Here's where you go. Once you have your kids back and you've won that case, you've pressed criminal charges, you've done all those different things, okay? You now get to go back into round two into federal civil court and sue every person involved in your case, from your CPS worker to the guardian ad litem to the judge personally, but not the constitutional right. Why? Because now it's you're recouping charges because of criminal activity. Now you don't have to meet the Rooker versus Feldman because you've overcame it, because your case has been dismissed and they've committed criminal acts to do so. It's the idea is to bankrupt these motherfuckers and get their fucking judges tore down, and all of a sudden you've got everything in check. On top of that, you go into your federal court and you use the evidence we have for each and every state that they are actively, and they have printed the fact that they have the right to violate your constitutional rights, that we have highlighted everything through there and given the case law in there to use on those ones that have never been overturned and you can't argue, including the fact that now you're on this. We have a step-by-step, even now that we're already working with the FBI and DOJ, of working with them on building a huge case. And if you notify them, hey, this is my constitutional rights were violated, these are the people involved, in our short little form or outline, keep everything else out of it. Then you use that same form and take it to a federal attorney, and you go to a federal civil rights attorney, and then they file on your civil rights. And then you kick their ass. And then you have the judges and everything else removed. And Vinny, I did watch your video. Or look at that thing, that link you sent me. And that's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I put all
So
my
this is
emails
the
and
way
my
you hold them
number in the
accountable.
chat. I put all my emails in the, yours. They done took it. Wait a minute. Somebody done put another one in here. Okay, I got to get to yours. Okay, Gunner, I'm going to email you right now.
Don't threaten
That's
me.
my email. That Cricket Welch is my email.
Gunner, I'm going to email you right now. Brother, you know your stuff. Keep doing what
Listen,
you're doing.
we're
I
looking
love it.
for, since I came on, listen, Tiff, since I came on this show, that has been the point of this, is to find the right people that would hopefully hear this, hear what we have, find a way to actually win, hold people accountable. And if you get people to that point, you start taking out their judges, turning the Bar Association, the lawyers, and everybody else against CPS in the state of going, it's because of you and your cases, I lost my fucking job. No, then it goes back and forth. Their arrogance is going to be as the state, well, you were the one in the position. You should have known your job. You should have known to protect constitutional rights and do those things. That's not our fault. Now you've got them fighting amongst themselves. This is Sun Tzu's Art of War, as simple as possible, people. That's all I can tell you. If you read Sun Tzu. I know it's hard to follow, but as soon as you understand and begin to understand what they're talking about specifically and how you turn it, it's a game of chess. You may have won and took my first pawn or took my pawns, my children, but I'm coming after your fucking king and queen. I'm going to put your ass in fucking checkmate, and I'm going to make you fucking submit to me and make you show you how you're going to be my bitch. You hurt me, I'm going to destroy your fucking life and your finances and your influence, and everything you've ever worked for is going to be mine. But understand, if people get together on this, and there's judges and magistrates that have heard hundreds of cases, that's multiple fucking counts. The more cases that come up on that, that's more time they're going to serve, because that's an act of fucking treason and against children. You get somebody that has 100 fucking cases of doing that, you think that they're going to turn a blind eye now that all those people are aware? How many reported on that same judge or magistrate? You done lost your damn mind. And the next motherfucker that comes in, they're going to know how that motherfucker lost his job, because Scuttlebutt's a motherfucker, and they're going to say, this one's gone, that one's gone, that one's gone, that one's gone. Courts are empty. Guess what happens? Can't do no fucking business with no court, can you?
Nope.
And those judges and magistrates have to be appointed by who? The governor.
Yeah.
You got the fucking governor's attention. You just took out a whole fucking county. You took out 5 counties. You took out all the fucking counties. Now, what the fuck happened to all my things? We were against the Constitution. Now you got them, and you hit them with the other thing, where we're working on a national, a class action lawsuit, because we're looking for, like I said, that's what we're shopping around now for, a constitutional attorney that's got a big enough set of balls to take this on, to go, we're going to do a class action lawsuit of about $500 trillion for treason and sedition against every state, because we have the hard evidence and the people it's happened to prove it. And here's the thing, gut the fucking system. If it's a crime, let the fucking cops deal with it.
I just told him, that's what I told Brother Herb. I said, what's been happening is they've been taken into a civil court of law when abuse and neglect is a criminal court of law. And that's how they've been getting away with it, making their own rules and regulations under administrative law and not allowing the proper authorities, which they still corrupt too, the police, and under the 4th and 5th Amendment, they both fall under their CPS and the police. So that's what's been happening in CPS cases.
When you start cleaning house and people stand up and now have a way and a hope to fight, but they wear you out on spending more money.
Gunner,
and more
I sent you an email.
Hadn't come through yet, but it will, I'm sure.
I sent it from.
Let me see.
It's
Oh, look
coming
at that.
through.
There's Tiff. There you go.
That's one of my emails. That's my
I think
alias.
we're
I
going to
got.
add that to our download. So I'm going to add that form to the download, which is basically your overall game plan, because then people will understand what we're doing, how we're doing it. And
Right, and that's
I'm at
what needs
Gunner
to happen
1911 on
because,
TikTok.
like I say,
Yeah.
I was only cutting you off because I wanted the people on the thing, the ones that's been battling the system that haven't got that's still battling to get their kids home. They needed to know, the step by steps to take down the system, but also to get their children home because this is a global epidemic.
That's right.
Listen, this is the only way it will legally work. And if we all come together, we are the first line and the first wave to defeat them. And how we do this is by pressing charges civilly against them and then criminally, to where I'm not taking your fucking deal of, a do not disclosure and here, and here. Because once it gets to federal court and they understand it has merit, they're going to push you into mediation. Now, the term that you're going to want to love to use, that all of us in this movement, we've labeled it, is called the reckoning. Now, this reckoning here has a couple things here. So when you come through it, the reckoning, that you turn around and you look at those people getting ready to offer you a big settlement. I don't negotiate with terrorists, let alone domestic terrorists, let alone with children.
I like it, Gunner.
That's awesome.
I love it. I don't negotiate with terrorists. I love it.
That's right. That's right.
I love it. That's right.
I'm an American. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We execute them.
Amen.
We're coming at. Understand this. You are now put on notice with filing this with everybody else, and you can do this even while you're in family court. As soon as your civil rights are violated, you have a right to stop that. That CPS worker came in without a warrant, boom, right there. That gets you out of a criminal action. You realize that too, because that's the first line. Because anything after that's considered fruit from a poisonous tree. What was the first action? Well, they let me in. Well, let me throw you this case law, and you're going to look at that tip that turns around.
Okay, we having a background feed.
Some kind of feedback, yeah.
Somebody's talking in there.
We having some background noise, but what I'm totally in agreement with you, my brother Gunner, because hey, I just told him, united we stand, divided we fall. We need to unite. We need to stand. We need to fight. We need to protest. That's every mother, child. This is going on globally. These corrupt entities, they're human trafficking our children. Like I said, they did not sign a treaty. The United States is the only country in the whole wide world that didn't sign a treaty to protect children and parental rights.
Regardless of the damn treaty, the idea of it is leave us the fuck alone.
Exactly, right.
Under the Constitution,
I didn't call you to my house.
Right,
I refused your services, and you pushed it on me anyway.
And like I tell you, don't let them in your house. If they ain't got to search you from a judge, even if they do, don't let them in your house. Don't let them in your car. Don't let them search a person. Because now you're giving up your constitutional rights, and you're protected by the 4th and 5th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution.
One case I want to watch right now.
I wouldn't give them a phone number and told them to, if they didn't have a warrant, to get off my property. And they went and did an expo on me.
Okay, well.
Which, to get one, was actually illegal for you to do that, because they have to have firsthand knowledge, and it has to come from an Article 1 or an Article 3 courtroom, and they have to have firsthand experience. And it's already been ruled by a federal court too. An anonymous call is not considered a reason to take and to actually get a warrant. It's not a viable course. So the federal court has already struck that down, because they're running to these judges and magistrates.
Well, don't forget
got an anonymous call on this.
They're gonna say, wait a minute, don't let me cut you off. They're gonna say edges and circumstances, imminent danger.
Nope. Imminent danger. Hold on now. The case law of the same one that we have in there, that download I'm going to share with you, the federal court actually takes and does describe what imminent danger is, because the case dealt specifically with a CPS worker and a police officer. So it covers both avenues.
When they did the safety plan on us, there was not a cop present.
No, that is a contract to get you to sign to get money from the government.
And I didn't sign it.
They don't care these days.
I put
'cause
my
they so
name on it,
corrupt.
but I did not.
You don't put your name on nothing
agree
with
with
them.
it. But see, I put my maiden name on it. They have my married
It
name at the
doesn't
top of
matter.
it.
You
I
still
never wrote it.
don't sign nothing with these entities. They corrupt. You don't put
No.
your John Hancock on nothing
You
you're
know
not
what they,
in
you know what
agreement
they
with.
do then, Tiff?
Always remember that. That's the rule
I'll
of
tell
thumb
you-
in the law. If you don't agree with it, don't put your signature on nothing. I fought 6 courts
Hey,
and it
Tiff?
took me almost 6 years, and I didn't sign nothing with the judges, with CPS, with none of them.
Hey,
Because I
Tiff?
wasn't in agreement for them taking my kids. It was false charges. They kidnapped my kids, held me at gunpoint. I wasn't in agreement for none of that madness.
Right.
Tiff, they got to the point on mine for that particular plan or even the temporary thing, they forged it.
Yeah, they forged it. They did it to me. They falsely accused me, and they forged stuff. They do all of that. They so corrupt.
No, they forged my signature.
They will. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You got to be careful with signing your signature to stuff. And now things are digital. You got to be careful. Now we have AI. You got to be careful sending a text, sending voice messages, and putting your signatures on stuff. And come on now. And then guess what? We send out affidavits, me and we the people. We make sure we demand our constitutional rights to the president, to the state officials. When I write them, I demand. When I wrote Trump, I told him, I said, this is what I demand for you to do for me and my clients. This is what I want. I quoted the scriptures, I quoted case law, and I quoted the laws of the land. And I said, if you don't give it to me, you will be in danger of a federal lawsuit immediately. I said, and within 10 days, I want a letter and response and receipt to this letter that I have given to you, and you better write me back. I demand my constitutional rights.
How do I get you on my side, Tiffany?
I'm on everybody's side, baby.
I have on the fifth.
All over the 52 states, even in third world countries, they taking kids. Okay, I help people. I'm a diplomat. I help people all over the world.
I've
You
got
got my
court on the
contact
fifth.
information in the chat. I'm telling you, I'm on here because I want to make sure that people understand that this is wicked entities. These people are eating children. They're sacrificing children. They're killing babies. This is the month that the witches and warlocks and the evil people, they set up there. People talk about Halloween. Why celebrate it when you celebrating something where witches and warlocks kill children and eat their body parts and kill them and sacrifice them and drink their blood but everybody want to offer some candy and a costume. You might as well just go buy the candy and keep your kids at home because it ain't safe.
Right.
The candy ain't even safe. When we was kids, and I'm 49 now. When we was kids, they had to take the candy to the hospital to get it X-rayed. The witches and warlocks put raisins in the apples and stuff in the candy.
Where are you from, Tiff? Tiff, where are you from?
To set up there and aid in some pedophilia, the people that kill kids.
Tiff, where are you from?
This goes high up in government. This goes high up in government.
Okay. Herbert, where's she from?
I was born in Flint, Michigan. I am licensed in Texas, Michigan, and Africa. I am licensed.
Oh, you're the one with the echo, Tiff. It's something in your voice thing. You're
you know
getting
what?
too close.
It may be because I got all these devices on.
You're getting backbeat off your two mic.
Yeah, I have you on my hold on. I think I need to take y'all off of the computer. Hold on. That's what it is. Hold on. I got y'all on 2 different devices.
That's what's causing the feedback. Oh, God.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta.
Hey, the Muffin Man. The Muffin Man.
Oh, yeah, I still had y'all on my computer. Let me take y'all off. Hopefully that fixed it. Did that fix it? Well, okay, let me tell y'all the real deal. I fight against the police and law enforcement and the government, and they hacked all my devices. Okay, let me explain something to you who I am. My father was Navy SEAL, U.S. Marine, honorable discharge. God rest his soul, but he fought for this country, and the country killed my father. Right now, I have 2 lawsuits against the United States government. I fight against the government and the powers that be. They tried to kill me. But guess what? I work for God and myself, and they can't kill who who has protected. So I don't know. I just turned y'all off on my computer, but I have to have on multiple devices because they hacked up all my phones, hacked up all my accounts, and they listen to all my phone calls. I don't give a care who they is. They can't kill me, but they was killing people in my family, and they tried to kill me for fighting the government and fighting for my kids. And you know why? Because my father was U.S. Marine and armor discharge, and he was part of the Black Panther Party, and it's in my blood to be a civil rights activist, a human rights activist, a child activist, to stand up for the rights of children, parents, and families, dealing with CPS or the judicial system. I just start taking criminal court cases. I am well versed in the laws of the land and the laws of God, the Torah, where our laws came from, and administration law, and now I'm getting skilled in criminal law.
Okay, guys, we appreciate it, Tiff. I don't know where Darren went. Guys, we're about up on our time here. We've ran a little bit over. Appreciate you guys being here. Yes, Darren's kind of wrote me in to do some, some side hosting a little bit here. He's kind of talking into a few things.
If we're gonna do what we
guys, we appreciate you being here. Have a great night. Hey, keep sharing that information. Keep connecting. Fight the good fight together. Just like I said, keep reaching out for those people and sharing that information and that knowledge. We love you guys. Thoughts, prayers,
we
meditations.
love you too, my brother, my sisters. My thoughts and
Be
prayers
good.
are with us all.
Keep
Praise
strong.
God. I will be praying for us all tonight. When I get prayer, I do a 12 o'clock prayer at night, and I fast every day.
Yeah,
So
call
I pray
me.
and protect. Yeah, I got your number. Are you baby girl?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'll call you when we get off. All right.
All right.
We're
That
gonna
sounds
do.
great. Thank you.
We're gonna do last
All right.
words. So Darren's back, so we're gonna do last words.
Okay, last word. Don't let CPS in your house. When they come knocking, don't let them in.
Hey, I got one for you. If they violate your fourth, use your second.
Hey, that's
I like that. I have one. Never give in, never give out, never give up, and keep the fight, keep the faith. And God got us, because if God is fighting for us, who can be against us? No one.
No weapon formed against us shall prosper.
That's right.
Brenda.
That's what for some reason I keep thinking about the FBI. If they don't try to kill you, they'll try to keep you locked up. It's just like any way they can shut you up is the way they do it.
Exactly right, my sister. They locked me up in jail. I've been to jail so much I can't even keep straight, and I'm not even a criminal.
Yep. Yeah, me too. Me too. At 50 years old, all of a sudden I'm locked up for everything. For trying to rescue my daughter.
For custodial
You what?
interference.
I'm sorry. What? Oh wait, that ain't supposed to be there. What?
Oh, don't forget to
All
send
right.
me
I
that
can't
information,
see that. It's on
my
my
brother
phone. I
Gunner,
can see.
okay? I'm trying to have that information tonight.
My last words for tonight is keep fighting, never give up. Listen to what both Tiff and what Gunner and Darren have to say, because they're all going in the right direction with all of this. They really are. And these guys are fighting. You guys need to start paying attention to what's being said, because you're missing all the important information, and they got it.
Yep.
Darren.
Guys, let's end CPS. This is the way we're going to end this show. Guys, have a great evening.
All right. Bye. Love you guys. Stay
Until
strong.
next time.
Bye.
Thank you.
Are we having an after party?
I don't know if Darren's back yet. He's there, I think. Darren? I don't know. I guess I ought to finish then.
All right.
Well, send us a link then, Benny.
I don't know how to do all that. Darren does that.
Oh.
Who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scrape their knees. Now just imagine how they mightst feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calmed. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.